Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ryan Nicklaser. Welcome to Community Corner. My two friends are...
Welcome to Community Corner. My name is Alan County Castle.
And I'm David DeWitt Taylor.
We have a very exciting show for you today. We're interviewing Rick Lowenstein, the Chief Standard Officer of the Centra Autism Organization, which assists individuals with autism. Welcome, Rick. Welcome.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, Rick, please tell us a little about yourself, and did you grow up in Michigan?
So before I do that, can I congratulate you on doing this show for 10 years?
Sure,
because it's really amazing,
Sure.
and you guys do cool stuff. You've had great people on here, and I'm honored to be here. So thank you, and keep up the great work.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So for me,
Thanks.
thank you. And for me, I grew up in Michigan. I grew up in Southfield and have lived here most of my life. I spent some time in Massachusetts. I went to school there, to college, and then spent some time there and came back to Michigan in 1993.
Aaron?
Yeah, well, it's shows that you have the next one.
Did you pursue, what did you pursue a specific degree in college?
In college, so I went to Babson College, which is just outside of Boston, and I pursued a business degree in the discipline of marketing. And so that was my degree. It was a Bachelor of Science degree in marketing.
So what led you to join this Centra Autism organization?
So I joined Centria about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And prior to that, I was the CEO of an organization called JARC that works with people with developmental disabilities in housing and community supported living. And I met Centria at the time when the autism legislation was changing in Michigan. And I met the CEO, the two owners actually of Centria at that time. And I felt that their values were very much aligned with my values and the work that they were doing, not just working with people with disabilities, but focused on autism. And so I left my role as the CEO of JARC to become the Chief Strategy and Growth Officer at Centria.
Cool. So what is the mission of Centria Healthcare Organization?
Centria's mission is really to help every child living with autism develop, pursue, and achieve their own goals and dreams through high-quality ABA therapy and support.
Please expand on autism Centria spectrum disorder and the role that Centria healthcare plays in this, assisting those with individuals with autism.
So, so you're asking me to describe maybe a little bit about autism and how what our role is in that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's a great question. So Centria actually started working in pediatric private duty nursing, assisting families coming home from the hospital whose children needed nursing. And so that's how Centria started. And then we started serving children with autism about 5 or 6 years ago. So the autism is a spectrum disorder. It's a neurological disorder, and it affects children and adults. It can be detected as early as 18 months, and early therapy and intervention is the key. And so that's what Centria does, and we can maybe talk a little bit more about that. In terms of autism, as I said, it is a spectrum disorder, and so there are some folks that have autism that have a lot of needs, and there are others that don't have many needs, but may need help with social cues, or people sometimes get frustrated with communication. And so what we try to do is help that, identify that, and help in the therapy that we provide.
Excellent.
At Centria Autism, we believe that continuity of care is critical to your child's success. That's why each family has a dedicated therapy team to ensure your child reaches their full potential. The therapy team consists of 3 roles: a supervising clinician, a behavior technician, and a client service manager. The supervising clinician or board-certified behavior analyst creates your child's treatment plan, ensures the most effective execution of the plan's programs by the behavior technician, and makes adjustments to the plan's implementation according to your child's progress.
A supervising clinician is responsible for the development of the behavior intervention plan and the behavior treatment plan of the individual with autism. So we'll go out and conduct an initial assessment. From there, we'll figure out the deficits in the behavior, and we'll put in programs that are specifically individualized for that client. We'll train the behavior technicians on the behavior intervention plan, and then also host parent training so they understand each component of the behavior intervention plan that's targeting those problematic behaviors.
The behavior technician will be providing individualized one-on-one therapy as outlined in the treatment plan.
My role as a behavior technician is to carry out the treatment plan designed by the supervising clinician, and that's going to look very different depending on the needs of the child that I'm working with. If I'm working with a younger learner in an early intervention setting, that might be working on school readiness skills. If I'm working with an adolescent or teen, we're working on vocational skills or leisure activities or social skills. So my job is to be a really effective teacher.
The client service manager provides care coordination, including scheduling treatment, administrative work, and navigating insurance authorization, all in the service of helping your child receive the best quality therapy.
Part of my job as client service manager is to ensure that there is effective communication between all of the members of the care team as well as the family. Client service managers are also responsible for scheduling treatment as well as scheduling any necessary training.
There's a saying in autism therapy, it takes a team. At Centria Autism, our team approach to therapy ensures that each family receives the highest quality ABA treatment and support to help their children reach their full potential.
What are some of the signs and symptoms of autism spectrum disorder?
So some of the signs of autism spectrum disorder may be behavioral issues, it may be social interactions, that people have difficulty in social interactions, it may be just frustration sometimes in communicating what a person's needs are. Traditionally, so if I said to you, hey, Aaron, I would like that glass of water, I can say to you, Aaron, I would like that glass of water. If I have autism, I may not be able to communicate my needs that way and get frustrated and have a tantrum because I can't tell you I'd like that glass of water. And so that's maybe a good example of the type of work that we do to help understand what the child's needs are and help them develop the communication so that they would be able to have that glass of water as opposed to having a meltdown and getting frustrated.
Yeah. Okay, is there a specialized we should begin screening for autism spectrum disorder?
Absolutely. So your question of screening is really important. And what we hope is that pediatricians are screening, doing what's called an MCHAT. It's a modified check for autism in toddlers that the American Academy of Pediatrics says should be done at 18 and 24 months. And that generally is directional, or a sign that says if a child tests at a certain range on that particular screening tool, that they should probably go for additional testing, more intensive testing that can identify whether a child has autism or not.
Okay. Please explain appeal behavior. Therapy, how it may help and how it may help.
Sure. So Centria provides services called Applied Behavior Analysis, or ABA therapy. And that therapy is the only evidence-based therapy that's approved by the American Academy of Pediatrics, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, and the Surgeon General as having the most profound impact on people with autism. And basically what this therapy does, and I explained it a little bit earlier, is it breaks complex tasks down into very simple, manageable tasks, and then we use positive reinforcement to get those same type of tasks to repeat themselves in other situations. And so we now are one of the largest providers of ABA therapy in the country, and affecting the lives of more than 3,000 children.
Okay. Again, are there limitations to the program, or is it open to everybody with autism?
So the question of, is it open for everyone? So the answer is yes. In Michigan, it's required that any insurance company that's doing business in Michigan must offer this ABA benefit to its members up to 21 years old. It's also covered by Medicaid. And so that means there should be zero barriers for anyone wanting access to this type of therapy. So it's available to everyone. At this point in time, the funders, meaning the insurance company and Medicaid, are only paying for ABA therapy up through the age of 20, up to 21.
Okay. How would an individual access your service?
Individuals can access our services a number of different ways. Really, the best way is either through our website, centriaautism.com, or a simple phone call. And we have staff on our team that accept phone calls actually from around the country and understand and help families navigate a very complex system. Not just trying to find a place to get a diagnosis or to be tested, but other supporting services within the community, help with insurance, navigating insurance or Medicaid. That's what our team does, and we do it really, really well.
Cool.
My name's Josh.
And I'm Claudia. We have 4 kids together. Noah is our second born. He's 4 years old and he was diagnosed with autism. He was completely nonverbal. He wasn't answering to his name. We would try and call his name and it was completely as if we weren't anywhere near him.
We didn't see those same milestones that his big brother saw. We figured, okay, he's probably just delayed in speaking. He'll get there eventually. Big brother talks for him. As he was about 18 to 20 months, we started getting a little bit more concerned because there was minimal to no communication language.
When he first got his diagnosis, it was an answer to a bunch of questions that we had about our son. The doctor who diagnosed Noah, she was the one who told us ABA will be a huge help for him. Once she told us it was such a huge impact in autistic kids' lives, we thought, absolutely, we want to do whatever we can for our kids.
Once we got started with ABA, it was not a general structure blanketed for every kid. This is a Noah therapy, not just ABA, this is Noah therapy.
My name's Tanya. I've been working with Noah for almost a year. When I first started working with Noah, he wanted nothing to do with me. And now he comes to me, he wants up. He will randomly sit on my lap. That's when I realized okay, he trusts me. He actually wants me here.
It's been incredible to see that relationship between Noah and Tanya. Noah knows her and she knows him.
He knows he can trust her and he knows that she just loves to just play with him.
He has made so many improvements. Thinking back to a year ago, how he was not social, how he didn't want anything to do with me, and now he's social.
A big one was just about a month ago, I think. We're both sitting down on the couch. Noah walks up, looks me in the eye, and says, apple juice. Requesting with words that I want some apple juice to drink. And now his vocabulary has just exploded. To look back a year ago, it's hard to believe that it's the same kid.
I think Noah can accomplish anything. With the progress he's made in the year, he has shown he can do anything he wants.
I see our Noah leading a normal life because he's been equipped to lead a normal life.
The future holds no barriers for him in my mind because of how much potential he has, and we just have to be there to be able to support him and let him use that potential however he sees fit.
All the services available throughout Michigan?
for sure the services are available throughout Michigan, and we're one of the only providers that's actually operating in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan as well. So we cover the entire state of Michigan. We also serve 10 other states from Texas, so Michigan, Texas, Washington, Oregon, California, New Mexico, Arizona, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Indiana. Am I forgetting any?
Nope,
And
I don't think so.
soon to be in Minnesota.
Does the child receive the necessary ABA therapy at home or at a professionally managed center?
You guys have great questions, by the way. I just want you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the therapy is actually performed. Most of the therapy that we provide is actually in the home setting. We do have about 20 centers in Michigan and about 30 centers around the country. So those, again, center-based versus home-based, it's a decision that families make, and so we have the opportunity to serve families in both settings.
Does healthcare insurance pay for the ABA?
Healthcare insurance does pay for it in most cases. Again, legislation in 2013 required that any insurance company doing business in Michigan has to offer a benefit for ABA to its members, and also Medicaid as well.
Do you have a success story you would like to share?
Oh, wow. So how much time do we have? Because we could
20.
spend a whole lot of time talking about success stories, for sure. For sure. I think success stories range in so many ways. A success story may be somebody who's now starting school with their same age peers after going through intensive ABA therapy through their early years from, 2 and 3 years old, getting school ready to 6 years old, and something that's a big deal. We have success stories of a child just saying, instead of having a meltdown or a tantrum, they say, "I'm ready to go home now from our family picnic." That's a big deal. And so something, what may seem like small things to most people, is a big thing for a child with autism, because they couldn't express that before. And now they have the tools to understand and be able to express that. The other is, can I have one more? The other is something as simple as a child saying mom or dad or I love you for the very first time. It's very powerful.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is emotional, really emotional.
It totally is.
Yeah, it is.
What do you see happening in the future with the diagnosis and treatment for those with autism?
So the future is sometimes challenging for sure, because it is an expensive therapy, and there's pressure from the state to keep rates down. The flip side of that is, I think that there's a lot of positive things going on in our community in terms of early diagnosis, education, and more providers like Centria coming into play. And so I think now is probably one of the best times in our history. If someone is born with autism and has autism, there are a lot of treatments and there's a lot of support right now out there. And so I think that that's really very, very positive for the future.
I'm David Maxfield. I'm the parent of Ava Maxfield.
And I'm Jennifer. I noticed Ava's delay in her language when she was about 1.5. She wasn't hardly saying any words. And the words that she did say were very, very, just mama and daddy. Nothing crazy, nothing more complex than that.
I mean, I was told by other professionals that wouldn't never happen. They said that's not going to happen to your child. You know, there's normal children, and your child is not going to be in that spectrum.
When we first started, she was not interested in new people whatsoever. Now she is very social. She's a little social butterfly, actually. Her learning how to speak, even not verbally, but with a textbook, has been huge for her to be able to indicate like what she wants, how she's feeling.
So I got a call from Jennifer, and I left work. Then my wife said, yeah, you got to come to the playground. You know, it's probably more or less Ava didn't want to get out of the car again. Ava didn't want to play at the playground, but there was something in my wife's tone that said, no, you got to be here. And I came to the playground, and my daughter was not only playing on equipment with other children, but she was engaging with other children. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. I kept looking to say, well, is that my daughter? That's our daughter, right? And I was just amazed. Yeah, that's a game changer. That's you know, I could say words about anything, but not that. I didn't have words that day. Words can't express what you are in our life and what you've done for our daughter. I don't know where we would be if we didn't have folks like you in our lives.
Ava has changed my life, and she's changed my career. You guys have affected me just as much. I'm doing this because of her, really.
Okay, close now. We would like to thank Mr. Lowenstein and Central Autism for the wonderful interview. Our show's mission is to provide our audience information about programs that could help us to live productive and fulfilling lives. We believe Central Autism is doing a very good job of assisting those of us with autism in achieving our goals. I'm David Taylor, watching ONTV, etc., etc.
Well, thank you.
What's next on Community Corner?
My name is Connie Castle. You've been watching on TV, CNN, and YouTube.
Ciao. Okay, see y'all next time on
Hey,
Community
bring
Corner.
it in here one last time. Come on.
Go on.
And go. There we go.
Yep. See you next time.
Christian, for the most part, is laid back. He's a laid back kid. He's quiet, but he's very smart, very. It started off around 2 or 3. He was still functioning, but he was just really quiet. So we put him in speech therapy. His speech therapist teacher, she was the one saying that, well, because he seemed to get a little agitated when we take him out of his comfort zone. So we did evaluation, and that's what we came out to me was the autism.
I've been working with Christian for just a little over 9 months now. When I started working with him, he didn't have a lot of the verbal abilities, but he seems a lot more confident in himself. He started saying everything a lot more clearly and a lot louder. So we were playing in the gross motor room, and we have these crash pads that the kids just love to jump on and kind of toss them on there. And some kid just kind of spit up a little bit, nothing big, and he points to it too, and he had this great joint intention. He just looks at me and goes, ew, gross. And I'm like, yeah, ew, gross, don't touch. And he's just like, yeah, ugh. But he connected that to, something actually really gross in the environment not to touch. So it was really great to see just something that little be carried over into therapy.
She's kind of getting him where she wants him. She's warming him up a little bit. And he's actually, I'm like, okay, I sit there like, oh, he's actually talking to her. He's just like all her energy. He likes her.
Coming in every day, seeing his progress from when we started really is reinforcing for me. And it's really great to just see the growth because I'm like, oh, I helped him do that. That's awesome.
speech, language, occupational, all those things come with therapy, but the main therapy should be the ABA therapy because that helps them function on an everyday basis. You need the ABA. And I know we do have a long way to go, I get that, but just to get those little things, requesting, or even that first word, just warm your heart, I guess. It's, it's just been an amazing journey.